Good morning and welcome to this episode of Relax. I Got This, Embracing Life After 60. So, here is something that often people don't want to talk about, and that is our bodies. Our bodies start to wear out a little bit sometimes, the knees, the hips, the back. And as we age, we need all of those things to get us up off the ground, to prevent falls, and to continue to live a vital life. And that is why I'm so excited to have Cindy and Cindy on the show. They do a podcast called The Cindy Show, and it is all about fitness after 50. These ladies are my trainers. Welcome to the show, Cindy and Cindy. In today's world, older adults face major transitions like downsizing, relocating, or modifying their homes to age in place, all while embracing life after these changes. As a senior home advisor and seasoned realtor, Robin McCoy guides these decisions with care and thoughtful planning, helping create a vibrant future. Welcome to Relax, I Got This, Embracing Life After 60 with me, your host, Robin McCoy. Okay, so welcome to the show, Cindy's.
There's Thanks, Robin. Good to see you in the daylight.
I know I don't quite look the same, and I'm a little more talkative in the daylight. So Cindy and Cindy are actually the trainers at the Get You in Shape workout group that I work out with every morning. And if you know me, you see me out there in the dark doing that. And these are the ladies that are telling me what to do. So, I give a little pushback, but without them, I wouldn't be doing
just a little.
Without them, I wouldn't be doing it at all. So, so thank you so much for taking your time today to come on the show.
Thank you for having us.
So something about Cindy and Cindy is they have a podcast that they have put together recently, and they call it The Cindy Show. And it's really about fitness after 50, right?
Yeah. We're trying to stay fittish.
Fittish. Okay, so we don't need to be this. We just need to be this.
Right.
So why don't we back up a little bit and tell me a little bit about yourselves, who you are, where you came from, and how you got to this point.
Go ahead, Cindy. Well, I'm Cindy B. I'm known as Cindy B, but I'm Cindy Bladl. I actually
that's your last name.
That is my last name. I know.
You have a last name.
One of the clients tried to pronounce it. Is it blah? It's okay. Cindy B's good. I grew up in South Texas, and like way South Texas, 30 minutes from Mexico, and always kind of been an active girl. Dance, ballet, tap and jazz, all that. Then I was a cheerleader. And then once I went to college, I kept exercising on my own.
How rare.
Joined the Gold's Gym, my first gym to join. But, I had a guy friend that would help me learn stuff. And I told Cindy I still have some, is it Shape magazine?
Yeah.
And I would it had the little tear out of the exercises to do. So I would do that. And then I became a PE teacher. So I was helping young kids trying to enjoy activity. Maybe you didn't have a good PE teacher, Robin, where PE was fun.
I didn't. I got sent to the principal's office by her one time. Got detention.
So trying to motivate kids to stay healthy so they'll keep doing it the rest of their life. And now I find myself as a trainer working with I call you guys the big kids, and still trying to make it fun, still getting a good workout, staying healthy. And of course, I also work at a senior living community as a senior fitness specialist. And so I see the importance now even more. Yes, I want to look cute in my clothes, but I want to be able to stand up, sit down when I'm 80, 90 years old.
Put your own clothes on for yourself.
Yeah. Those deadlifts. Pull the pants up.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I am Cindy H. H is for Hendricks. That is my last name. I did not exercise a lot when I was younger, Robin, because we moved around a lot. So, you can't kind of just come into school and join a team if the team is already, going on. So it wasn't until after probably college. My dad is a pretty big athlete, and I just always watched him. He'd get up in the morning. He would go and run. He would go and ride his bike. So he was kind of always my role model. And I just thought, you know what, I should be doing what he's doing. So I just started doing things like going to curves, and you remember curves. Yeah. And, doing little stuff like that. And I just kept going because I just knew, that it was important. And my dad, who is 81, he still is a big bike rider. He goes out and he will ride like 25 miles.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. My dad was doing that until he got sick. He was riding his bike 150 miles a week.
Yeah. Right.
At 80.
Right.
And doing the hotter than hell 100.
Yeah.
He did the 50.
Yeah.
But, he was doing the hotter than hell.
Yeah. My dad used to do that one too. I don't think he does that one anymore, but yeah, he was a scuba diver. He was a bike rider. He was a volunteer firefighter. So he's always doing something, active. So it's kind of where I got it from, I guess.
Now you were just to kind of get you guys' place in, just kind of to get you in shape. Now, Brad has, people can go back and listen to a show we did with Brad, who owns Get You in Shape, and how he started this group. And, from my looks, when I'm there, I've been going for almost 10 years now. Can't believe it. I haven't done anything for 10 years.
That's a good stint.
But most of the people there in that are 50 and over. They're older, I don't want to call everybody seniors. That's not true, but they are 40, 50, 60. They're not 20 years old.
Right. Well, I too have been at Get You in Shape for 10 years. So I was 44 when I started.
But I think that's important, right? So I think that's really what we want to talk about today is, sometimes people are afraid to start working out, right? They're afraid. They don't know what to do. I know for myself, I would go to a gym and I'd get on the elliptical for 30 minutes, be bored out of my skull, and go home. And there was just now, if you'd have told me back then that I would be getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning in a parking lot by 5:30, outside in the dark with other people, I would have told you were out of your mind.
Right.
Out of your mind. And I think this is things that scare people, and may not be the right word, but hold people back.
Right.
From exercise.
Well, the interesting thing is sometimes for people that are not familiar or not used to exercise, I don't even like to call it exercise or call it a workout. I'd rather just call it, like movement.
Yeah.
Because movement, no matter what you're doing, when Cindy and I talk about it, we talk about walking.
Yeah.
Just being movement and how important that is. And if you can start there and kind of work your way to other things, it's a good place to start. And like you said, exercising outside, now if I go and exercise inside, I'm like, oh, I do not like this.
It's too bright in there, for sure.
Right. You've got fluorescent lights. You've got loud music. You've got personal space issues. So you don't get to see the sunrise. So there's some, gifts of being out there in the morning, for sure.
I also think that community aspect is big for people.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm okay working out by myself. And sometimes when we work out, I'm super quiet and everybody's like, why aren't you talking? You're always talking when you're training, but that's just how I am. But I think if people could find a community, a workout group where everybody holds each other accountable. People tell me, I'm not going to be there Friday. I'm not going to be there, whatever. And other people, well, are you coming tomorrow?
Yeah.
Are you coming Saturday? And it's a really cool, I've never experienced that. I've gone to all the classes in the gym, but I never had a trainer come up and go, hey, what's your name? How, maybe I would have stuck with some more,
doing more Zumba.
Yeah, it's nice to feel seen, for sure.
Well, and it is. And as we age and things start to change in our bodies, our knees have been carrying us for 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, and things start to wear out.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we're afraid to do something that we're not used to doing.
Definitely.
Well, the resistance training, lifting weights, is so important as we age.
So let's talk about that. People say, the misnomer that if I lift weights, I'm going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
No. That's not
It
going to happen.
doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't.
We're
happen.
not 20 anymore.
That ship sailed a long
Yeah.
time ago.
Yeah. Maintenance is the goal maybe at this point, which is very important.
Well, I think so too, and everybody, in the group, and the struggles I had with my mother last year. And so I did a lot of research. So at 88, she lost her ability to walk. And it was diagnosed as spinal stenosis. And so I'm getting my Google MD degree and looking at all this. And this happens to everybody.
Yes.
Spinal stenosis is something that happens to every human as they age. It's just a matter of what you're going to do about it and how do you mitigate it. And it's exercise.
Yep.
That's the answer. It's exercise.
And it seems like so many people always, when you get to that point.
Hi, I'm Robin McCoy, a Texas realtor for over 15 years. As the adult child of a senior needing to make a living change, I know firsthand the stress that can be involved in guiding our seniors and their families through the challenging decisions surrounding senior living. From adapting your current home for aging in place to finding the right senior community, I provide comprehensive support tailored to your unique needs. By offering these specialized services, I aim to make the transition to senior living as smooth as possible, providing you and your family with peace of mind and confidence in every decision. For more information, go to robinmccoysenior.solutions.com and let me take some of the stress of senior moves away. Relax. I've got this.
So many people always, when you get to that point, you don't want to have regrets and say, oh my gosh, I wish I would have started movement or exercising 10 years before. Because all these things, you have to start them 10 or 20 years before to be prepared to tackle it 20 years later.
Right.
Yeah. But it's not, at age 50, you start. Age 60, you can start. It does help. It does help in the long run.
Oh my gosh.
In doing nothing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think that's what, I was talking to a friend of my stepmom's a few weeks ago, and I want to start walking. And I'm like, just go walk around the block, walk down the street and back. And we all find excuses why we don't. Oh, well, my husband said no. Well, why do you got to go with him? Or go to the mall, or, find a friend. That I walk with my friend Becky, and we hold each other accountable. And when we started, I could barely walk a mile.
Yeah.
Without everything on me hurting.
It's just getting up and getting out the door sometimes. Yeah. It's a lot more mental than you think it is.
So let's talk a little bit about the exercises or the things that we do and how they are helping with what we're talking about with building the strength we need. Like you said, the deadlifts to pull your pants up and the balance and all those things. Talk about some of that and how that's
number one is when we do squats. So I do these at the senior facility, senior gym. Is sit and stand, sitting in a solid chair and standing up without using your hands. That's a squat. And people don't think like, oh my gosh, that is like, I try to tell my mom, you just need to get up and down of your chair about 10 times, a couple times a day. But, I'm not there to make her do it. I'm not training her. But if you were, that's right. So to me, that is one easy exercise. And then you're like, oh, I can do that without the chair. You're doing the same motion, hinging at the hips, sitting back in your imaginary chair, and there's your squat. Yeah. So that's leg strength, core strength, things you need to sit and stand and to walk.
Yeah. And then in one of our episodes of the Cindy Show, we talk about travel. Yeah. And this girl travels more than I do, but we talk about how we want to be able to travel when we're older, and all the little things, walking through the airport, putting your luggage up in the compartment above. So many things when you're in a hotel, if there's only stairs, you just don't know. So many little things like that you want.
So if you're in your 50s and you're thinking about retiring, how do you want to live your life?
Right.
At home, watching Netflix, that's fine.
Great.
That's what you want to do, go for it. But if you want to travel, you want to play with grandkids, you want to, I don't know, you have to keep moving. And I'm a true believer of the resistance training, lifting weights, and not anything crazy, guys.
Yeah, talk about lifting weights, because again, I think that's some of the things that people go, oh, well, I can't lift weights. And they imagine being in a gym over by the free weights. I don't even know how to use that, and it just, the overwhelm of it just makes it not happen.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing about dumbbells is you can start with a lower weight in a dumbbell, like a 5. And if it's really easy, then you could probably go up to something a little bit heavier. And you can either go lighter and do a lot of reps, or you could go heavier and do less reps. So, and really, you don't even have to use a dumbbell. If you're at home, you can use a water bottle, you can use a can of green beans, whatever you've got. So there's a lot of different options that way.
So yeah, a squat, a shoulder press, you're just raising your hands. We did them today, and I said you're at a fancy restaurant and you're a waiter, and you lift the tray up over your head. That's a shoulder press, good for the shoulders, bicep, tricep.
Yeah.
And we said marching, high knees.
Yeah, high knees. Yeah.
What are high knees going to do?
Well, high knees are going to keep
So for people that don't know, it's just bringing your knee all the way up to basically hip height.
Yep.
Right.
So leg strength right there, and core
strength. And if you have core strength, that's also going to support your lower back, because a lot of times when we get older, either we start to hunch over or we have lower back pain. And a lot of times it's actually your core strength.
And it's, so I told you before we started the show, I fell yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I fell. I was in a house and I just missed a step. I mean, it wasn't even, the step's not even 3 inches probably, but it was enough. And got me so off balance. All of a sudden I'm on the floor.
Right.
And you do a quick assessment.
That's right.
Is everything going to be all right? And then, but I was able to get up off the floor.
Yeah.
Even after, I mean, I hurt myself. I'm not going to lie. I strained my wrist and I landed on something on my back.
It jolts you.
It hurt.
So I would like to remind you, when we do those exercises, lay down, stand up, lay down, stand up. Right there, Robin.
Yeah.
Well, and that's important, right? Because you mentioned, do you want to play with your grandkids when you're older and you have them? Do you want to say, I'm sorry, I can't get down there, little Bobby, because I won't be able to get back up?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what all these routines that we do in the morning.
Yeah.
We call them functional fitness.
Yep.
Functional fitness.
Yep. The functions of the day, the functions of life.
Laying down.
Like you said, when you're traveling, you're carrying suitcases or you're picking it up on and off the luggage carousel thing, or grocery shopping, or just the things that we take for granted.
Right.
Right now, getting in and out of your vehicle.
I had one of our clients, she's one of our oldest clients. I think she's 73 or 4. And she tells me, I know I can't do all the exercises, but I'm going to keep coming as long as I can. And she said she has friends that are her age and they can't get in and out of the car by themselves. And she's like, I don't want to be like them.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just the simple things of life that we take for granted now. Walking up steps, like you said, carrying your groceries, pushing your groceries through the store, through Costco. My mom, I am happy that we did have COVID and they have grocery delivery and stuff for my mom.
Yeah. That worked out okay.
I'm going to grocery delivery. I'm not going to a grocery store.
But just the everyday functions of life.
Right.
You want to be able to do them independently. It will stink eventually if you're going to have someone wipe your butt, I don't want that.
And it's true. I mean, I've got 2 moms. One of my moms is vibrant, travels, healthy, walks, socializes, all those things. And my other mom can't.
Opposite.
And they are two different examples.
How about that? Yeah.
Of, and it's at 61, it stares me in the face every day, right? Because we are what will be the go-to kids, right? We're the ones that are going to take care or keep an eye on our aging parents, those of us in our 50s and 60s, maybe our 70s, early, depending on when everybody had kids. But we are those go-to kids, and those examples are right in front of us.
Yeah.
And what can we do?
Well, we even talk about things
mom one than mom two.
Yeah.
Right?
Like posture and balance, which those things you don't really think about either until, like you're saying, you fall. And thankfully nothing was serious when, happened to you when you fall. But if you don't have a little bit of strength and you do fall and you lose your balance, then, a lot of times you end up with hip surgery.
Right. Well, and I think people, when they start talking about fall risks, right? We think about older people.
Yeah.
80s, right? Well, I'm 60, I'm fine. Well, guess what? You can fall and really hurt yourself at 60.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And it can change a lot of things, right? So that's why I'm trying to get to people now, and I'm not as consistent, there are people that go every day and do all the things, and I do my darndest. If I can get there 2 or 3 times a week, I'm winning.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean, it's just about balance, right? We're all trying to, like you said, take care of parents or take care of kids. You have a job, how do you fit it in when you've got all this other stuff to do?
Right.
But if you just think it's 1 hour that I could give myself, and if for me, I have to do it, Cindy too, and you too, we have to kind of do it in the morning before everything else happens. Otherwise, might not happen.
Not going to happen.
Robin, I am also shocked that I am there bossing you guys around at 5:30 a.m. When I was teaching, towards the very end, I did get like a spin bike in my house. I called it my generic Peloton. But I'd only have to just get up, brush my teeth, put my clothes on, and go to my bedroom or the guest room, whatever, and do 30 minutes. And then that was my exercise for the day sometimes. And, but I never have been a early morning exerciser. I prefer about 10 o'clock personally, but we don't offer those classes.
Right.
So, it's just, I wish, people are like, how do you do it? I was like, I don't know. I just get up. Yeah. I have I'm a zombie walking around but I have everything organized, what I'm taking to work to be your trainer.
Yeah.
And, I just wish more people could buy into it and buy into the importance of moving their bodies now. My dad was like a Frankenstein towards the end of his life. He used to jog. He would jog a mile, do some sit-ups. I remember he put his feet under the sofa, do his 50 sit-ups, and that was it, which was good movement.
Better than nothing,
But he didn't do any flexibility. He never stretched. So at the end of his life, when he's walking, he was like, couldn't move.
Yeah.
And
I think we forget about that too, that stretching is vital as well. And I am very lax on the stretching side of things. But a yoga class or yoga videos, just like you said, stretching to keep everything
10-minute thing in your day.
So I stand in my kitchen between the island and the counter when I'm cooking food, and I just swing my leg back and forth. And I'll do it like 50 times on one leg, and then I'll do like 50 times on the other leg. Just standing there just to get my hips,
So we talk about the difference of flexibility and mobility. We're going to have that in one of our episodes.
Yeah.
And flexibility is your muscles. Mobility is your joints. So you want to keep moving your joints, keep them nice and oiled. I like to tell my seniors, so you can keep them moving so they don't get stiff. They don't get arthritic.
Yeah. Can you do the splits then?
That was one of my goals one year, but I have not. Now everybody's telling me
after this is over, I'm going to have to go try and see if I can do the splits. I used to be able to years ago.
I
I could get all the way
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah.
I cannot. Not my thing.
Yeah, I had to work on it when I was a kid. It wasn't one of those easy.
Yeah. Not like
Easy.
like the Dallas Cowboys where you
Oh
go
my
up in the
God.
air and then
And you
boom. Woo.
That was
That
painful.
Yeah. Yeah. But that was then. They're in their young 20s.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Well, I know in our class, trying to think how old Jay is. He's in his 70s,
Mm-hmm.
and he's there at 5:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I am impressed
Of what he can do.
of
Yeah.
what he can do.
Yeah.
He had to go to physical therapy for something. I can't remember what. Probably shouldn't be telling him his stories, but they made him do a balance test, and they were shocked.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They were
that's
shocked how great
that he could balance.
He had to
so
do
well.
a squat and one
sit.
and one leg up.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And for a time thing,
Yeah.
and they were like, "You're 70, whatever, and can do that." And he's like,
Yeah.
"Thank
That's
you, get
huge.
you in shape."
We should have a talent show. What can you do?
That actually would be
Yeah,
kind
Y'all
of
can do
funny.
the splits.
At the Christmas
do
party.
Yeah, do some balancing.
Well, I mean, I think it's something that is so important, and I would argue that it's almost more important to start now than it was if you were 20.
Uh-huh.
It's they say, when is the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. The second best time is right now.
I like that.
And I think that is what, we just need to get past what we think we look like, because nobody's watching us.
Yeah.
We need to get past what we think we should be able to do, because that's in your head, not anybody else's. And just step out of that comfort zone a little bit. If you need, if you're not ready to go join a gym or an exercise class, there are YouTube videos for days and days and days and days that you can watch. Or if you need, like I said, I didn't know I needed the community. That was just kind of, but I met my best friend that first day.
Isn't that cool?
That I was there.
Yeah.
And Becky and I, it's been 10 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it was we were both newbies on the first day.
Oh, wow.
And here we are all those years later. So that's
awesome.
what it does.
Yep. That's great. Yeah.
Well, that's the other part of aging also. You got to stay social.
Be the leader you know you can be. Build your professional network and access education that takes you where you want to go. We are women of all ages and backgrounds. You deserve national recognition and opportunities to build relationships with people you want to work and grow with. Hit the ground running with the Charisma chapter of the American Business Women's Association. Meetings each month from 6 to 8:30 p.m. on the fourth Tuesday in Farmers Branch, Texas, and online. Come with us. Experience ABWA for yourself. Go to charisma.abwa.org to learn more.
Well, that's the other part of aging also. You got to stay social.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. I mean,
Yeah.
I think, in a lot of the things that I, with the area of my real estate business, working with seniors, is people want to stay in their homes because
their bubble gets smaller. Yeah.
But their bubble gets so small.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens is, because they don't have, maybe their spouse has passed, or their kids have moved further away or something, that not only does the isolation just affect them mentally, their physical stops, because they're not going out to the park, or they're not going to the store with their husband, or they're not doing these things. And I think COVID did a lot of that, because they became, my mom became so isolated. Even though we were going over there, her ability, her walking went from the chair to the kitchen to the bedroom.
Yeah.
That was it in her apartment. So I think
COVID was pretty tough, I think, for the older folks, because that happened to my parents too. My dad was very involved in a lot of groups, like a group of people he did bike riding with. And then when COVID came, all of those things, stopped, and they never got back to the same.
Yeah, it's never at the same level it was.
Right. People have gone on and moved on, and, those kinds of things. So, yeah, that definitely is hard. So you do have to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
do. And everybody knows, like, when they come to exercise with us, we've all had our first day and we've all not known what we were doing and how it all goes. But anytime you go anywhere like that, if you keep coming back after a while, you're going to get the hang of it. And then you're going to know it. So,
Well, and I think people need to realize,
you might find a friend.
you might find a best friend
Yeah.
who's going to move away and make me cry, but that's another
Yeah.
story, and I think what people too have to realize is even the little movements make a difference, right? We do, we're, stepping up on the stairs that we do. My hip strength is so weak. I would have thought after all these years, I'd be able to step on the high wall that we have.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
It hurts and it's too high for me. Even with these very long legs, it's still too high for me. But that stepping up on steps also strengthens that. It doesn't have to be this to be beneficial. It can be this and still be beneficial.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Unfortunately, exercise and building muscle is not like a super fast process.
Not at our age.
Yeah. And then you add our age. So
it just, I think it's completely and totally unfair that you can work out what feels like, for me, like a beast. We do good workouts out there. And it takes so long.
Yeah.
In your body. And if you take a week off, you've lost. I mean, our bodies don't quite, and we can't control what our body's going to do.
But you have to give yourself grace. And I want people to know that too, because like we said, we're trying to juggle all these things at the same time because it's just life. So you have to give yourself some grace and say, if I can get there 2 or 3 times a week, do it, then, we're all just trying to do the best we can.
Yeah.
So that's just really how you have to see it. Something's always better than nothing.
I was just going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw something on Instagram. I don't even know who it is that I follow, but he says almost exactly that almost every day. He goes, can't do 30 minutes, do 15.
Yeah.
Can't get outside because it's 106 or it's 30 below, depending on where you are and what the season is. Walk around your house.
Well, it's funny. Cindy and I have an episode on the Cindy Show also about hobbies. It hasn't aired yet, but we talk a lot about hobbies that really have a component to them that are either physical or mental or social. So if you're intimidated by the word exercise, maybe if, you're retired and you can find a hobby, people are playing pickleball, but part of it is the social part of it also. Mm-hmm. If you're sitting and you're doing a puzzle, maybe you're doing it with somebody else. So, that's a part of it. Or what else did we talk about? We talked about cooking. Yeah. All these kind of things have a little bit of, a physical part to them and a mental and social. So.
Well, and I was at the Capel Senior Activity Center, of which I am a proud member because I am and I go there and I do some work and all of that, but there were people in their gym. There was a man who was doing, on one of the machines. There are women in there sewing, right? They've got this whole sewing thing. And so getting, you're sitting down and doing this and you're standing up and you're walking over to the ironing board and you're pressing here and then you're sitting, so all of that is that functional fitness.
Exactly.
That, and then it's the social and it's the mental, keeping those neurons firing.
Yeah. Getting out of the house.
Yeah.
Ward off dementia and all those other things that like to lurk in the, they like to lurk
sneak up on you. Yeah. Yep.
So
I love that.
As we wrap up, what is one thing you would like to get across to people, that why this is important and just to encourage them if you were to sit down across the table from somebody?
I would say not always doing it just for yourself, but if you have a spouse or a significant other, or you have kids or you have grandkids, that's who you're doing it for.
And I think of, how do you want to live the last part of your life?
Yeah. What do you
just
want
have to ask yourself that?
Yeah.
Because if we're going to live to be 100, I mean, we still got a long way to
A
go.
long way to go, right?
Yeah.
I was talking to
Yeah.
somebody yesterday and I said, not that I'm saying that I'm old, but I could have another 40 years in me.
Right.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, so get on it. Yeah.
You know, but the truth is I'm in better shape today than I was when I was 31.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I'm in
we
much
learn how to eat better. We
Mhm.
learn how to take care of ourselves better. We're wiser when we're older, you know. So that definitely helps.
Yeah, I think it has to come down to I'm going to do this because I want to be healthy
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and I want to be able to thrive into my, embrace those years, not fear them, not to look cute in my bikini because that ship sailed.
Right,
too.
right. That ship has sailed. Yeah.
Agree.
All right. Well, thanks again for spending, this time with me. I am going to put all of their, contact information. Make sure you search The Cindy Show on Spotify and all the places that you get your podcasts. I've listened to several of their episodes, and it's really, these two are friends that found each other at their job, which
Yeah.
just happened to be training folks like me.
Right.
And they became good friends through, this movement and this exercise and all of those things. And they created this show, and it shares just right information about different things. Like you said, traveling and eating right and
Yeah. Yeah.
Just-
Just life.
just moving. So, all right. Well, thanks again for tuning in to Relax, I Got This. This is the Embracing Life After 60 version of our show. And thank you, Cindy and Cindy, for joining me. And we'll
Thanks,
see you guys
Robin.
next time.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us for Relax I Got This with Texas Realtor Robin McCoy. Check out all the show notes for contact information on Robin and her guests and to access your free buyer and seller guides. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a conversation. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Relax I Got This with Robin McCoy.